Good morning everybody and welcome back to the shed. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas, not too full up with alcohol and food. It's currently, what we're on now, I've lost track of days, 28th of December in the shed. Got first day out here, literally all of the Christmas break so far. I've got a few things I want to do and it's all regarding our shelf layout. It's going to be more permanent now, I think, in terms of up until now, we've definitely been just having it all just gently rested on top of the wood and nothing's all hammered down. Nothing is really permanently in place anywhere in the shed at the moment. And there's been a little bit of a reason for that. And you'd think kind of like 4 months into this, I'd be kind of getting on with the scenics and that sort of stuff and really motoring along with this hobby. But what I've actually loved about this hobby is for the first time in my entire life, there's no rush. All my hobbies in the past, apart from my artwork, have always been speed orientated. I'm into motorsport and motorcycles and racing model cars. It's all about speed, and this is the one thing I found that I love it. It's just a nice chilled out atmosphere. I can relax and don't feel any pressure to do anything. And even like most nights I'm out here, well not most nights, but most weeks I'm out here at least 2 times a week, just running locos around, and not having that urgency to rush has given me a chance to actually use what I've got, have some fun with it, experiment with the track layout on the shelf area, and actually work out what I really want. It'd have been very quick to, or very easy to just hammer down a quick layout and yeah, it'd be fine, wonderful. But I really wanted to actually use it and make sure it was actually working for what I wanted it to do. And interestingly, I found that I've changed it a lot. I know from our videos on YouTube, it doesn't look like we do a lot in here apart from mess around and have fun and be silly. But actually, most of my day, apart from my work, of course, I've got to concentrate at work. Most of my day is spent thinking about how I want things to progress in here. And there's lots of things that go on in the background that you don't see in terms of what myself and Evie have got planned for our channel. We've got loads of ideas in the pipeline and they're all underway. But we can't bring them to you yet because things take time to build and they take time to buy the bits you need to create what we want to create. So lots of things coming up, hopefully into 2023, which we can show you. But right now they are just in the pipeline and we're a little way off of getting these things done, but they will come along in due course. But today I'm out here, I've got a whole day and I have been thinking about this layout that we've got at the moment. As you know, it was never intended to get this far. It was meant to be just one line around the top of the shed for a bit of fun, to run some locos while I built my main layout. And as it's happened, with your input and your comments and your interest of what I'm up to in here, it's actually developed into a bit of a love for this thing. I absolutely love this single line at the top. And when it developed into the shelf as well, my intention would have an end-to-end, just as a bit of a contrast to the loop. And that's developed even further. We've now got sidings and we've got, by accident, a little engine shed at the far end, which I'm probably going to end up scratch building some walls around it and creating a proper little engine shed down there, stroke goods shed, which would be quite nice. And I've also had this wacky idea, which I'm going to run with because I think it'd be great. It's always felt a bit disjointed even though when you get these archways in place and my plans for scenery on this in time, it's always felt a bit like it's not joined in any way. It's a separate thing, and I really want it to run as part of the main loop around the shed here. So my plan is, bear with me on this one, the little line that, I don't know if you can probably see it on the camera here, that runs around the back of the archway. I want to link it to the top. Now it's quite a big jump. It's probably, I haven't got a measuring stick here, but it's a fair jump up there. It's probably about 4-inch drop, I suppose, from the top to the bottom shelf. And I reckon, I could be wrong here, but I have, looking at the riser kits you can buy from, I forget what they're called, but what are they called? Hang about, it's not difficult. I looked at it about 10 minutes ago. Either way, these things, you know what I mean. You all know what I'm talking about. These gadgets here. I've got some riser starters here and some risers on their way. And my plan is, I think, from the bottom corner down here, to start the climb around the far end of the shed. And on the other side, it will link up onto a single point setup so that I can run locos around the top and then bring them down to the bottom shelf. It's going to be quite a steep incline, and I'm fully aware that locos don't like running uphill, so I have also been thinking about that as well. The little shunting head at the far end, I could only really fit in there one full size, like a Pacific loco, and 2 passenger coaches as well. That is my limit into the shunting head. So from the passenger's point of view, or the passenger coach's point of view, it's not too much of an issue. An engine would only have to pull 2 of those up the hill, and I'm pretty sure it could do that. I've done a little bit of test on the bench here, and I'm pretty sure it could do it. Apart from that, it would basically be running little goods wagons up and down, and I think that could do it quite happily. Time will tell, and we'll get it all rigged up and so on and so forth. We'll have a few test runs, and that'd be quite interesting to see exactly what the limits are pulling it up the hill. And then moving forward, I want to start literally, once that's been done and it's laid down, it's all hammered down in place. I've got the cork to go underneath it. I'm not going to ballast the top rail. It's too high to physically see with your eyes anyway. It's hidden, it's quite high in the shed. So there's not a lot of point in doing that. For a visual aspect, you just can't physically see it. And scenery wise, for backgrounds and bits in the gaps here, as you know from my previous videos, I'm looking at modelling the Devonshire area in my main layout. And keeping on that theme, the top part, I've had various plans and various ideas in my head of what I want to do, but I want to keep it to that Devonshire area. And looking at places like Dawlish and Sidmouth, which I want to place my main layout on, it's quite well famous for its red, rocky railway line down on the seafront. It's red cliff face, if you like. It's a really rich red in certain lights. I'm going to probably remodel that as, the scenery climbing up the hill on the other side. So again, all stuff in my head that will kick off. But for today's video, I think it really is going to be a case of we're going to take the shelf down again. Like I say, none of the track's hammered down at all. It's just been resting there all this amount of time. I'm going to bring it down to my bench. We need to widen the shelf slightly. I've got a bigger piece of wood. We're going to modify that today and then look at building up the slope on the other side. So enough of that, enough waffle now. I'm going to crack on and get this shelf all down onto here, remake this part and make it wider and see if we can get the incline going. See you in a bit. Okay, so that's the main part of the job done for today. Got the shelf widened, which is my main objective, and I really want to try and work on this elevation. I haven't got all the risers yet from Woodland Scenics, as I said before, and I don't think I'm going to have enough anyway. I only ordered literally 1 or 2 packs, which for the amount of elevation I need to do, I don't think it's going to be enough. That said, it is quite expensive stuff, and I'm thinking I've still got some little scraps of wood left over. I'm going to try and emulate the amount of rise that they would give me, pretty much exactly, with just using bits of wood that I've got. I'll try and save a little bit here and there and give it a go. So I'm going to crack on with that now while I've got a bit of time, and try and work out where the elevation needs to start to try and make it work so it matched up across the other side of the shed at the right spot. There we go, wish me luck. Okay, so I've come across a bit of a problem. To run the railway down the back of here and round the other side, I haven't got enough track. So I had to nick bits off my siding until such time when I have got some more track. But where I've got the elevation going now, I'll take this away, you better see it. Oh, there we go, smash into the camera. Okay, so the elevation really starts off behind the arches, and then I'll put some proper 19mm risers into here when they turn up. And then I've built this section out of some bits of batten left over, which continues the exact same rise that I would get using the foams. And it'll do the job. I think that'll be fine. I'll screw it all down into place and that'll work really, really well. I've stopped there because I need to work out what happens there and then continue the elevation change right up to the other side. So got a little way to go yet, but this is going to be perfect just to test exactly what we've got and if the locos can do it. Now, rather than cheat and use a great big locomotive like I've got on the line at the moment, we're going to use a little tank engine. There we go. Use this little one down here, little Bachmann tank engine. I've just wired in some wires onto me rails. That wasn't very clever though, because I can't get the train past that. I'll rethink that in a sec. And then we're going to have to give it a go and see if it can pull. I think it's got what, 5, 6 on there. We've got five little Bachmann wagons there. So we're going to give that a go and see if it can make the incline. Only time will tell. Right, let's give it a go. Well, I'm going to claim that as a bit of a victory for part 1. I'm really happy with that. I can't believe that little engine took up 3 coaches with such little effort. So I hardly had it turned up at all. I think it was on something like 30 or 35% on the controller, so it's obviously got some poke, and I've no doubt the bigger engines can get up there a lot better as well. So the maximum it's going to try and take up there anyway would be 2, maybe 3 coaches. So that's hit its target. Next stop, try and work out what to do in the corner, and when the other risers turn up, I will continue the elevation change, and we'll do a part 2 and hopefully get it all working. And yeah, first job, get some more track, I suppose. Oh well, off to Hornby, I guess. Right, I'll see you later on. Thanks for watching. Cheers.